think we're good. That means I should actually do things. Okay, hello guys. Just been psyching myself up so much that I forgot to actually remember how to do this. Okay. Welcome. You know me. You gotta figure out what I'm doing. Okay. Hang on a sec. I think we're good now. Everything looks good. Everything looks happy. Okay. I literally was just sitting here quietly, just waiting for the time to get to here. So, yeah, it's not my about to figure out. I always wing this, even like when I have a school project. I always like never really plan what I'm gonna say, or plan so much that then I just forget when it's actually time. So anyway, hello guys. You'll be here helping Cookie if needed. Thank you. That you're wait, we demoted you though, right? Is that what happened? At least we made you more gray now. Oh boy. Okay. Well, looks like the chat almost works. That's fun. We'll just take a bit to get everyone happy and ready in here. We're doing pretty good. As I said, like I had less of a exciting week than usual, so it kind of boils down to I don't know what to talk about now. Let's see. Push it up. Woo! I can show what we got so far. I think it'll be fun. We'll have something to look at. This is nearly there. My hair's weird. So for this project, I want to add just like one more gag, and then maybe clean up some other things around here. Clean house of small, insignificant things that most people would never notice that is wrong in this, but I sure do. I guess I look more at the micro level of things that are happening, like between frame A and B. Is there a discrepancy between that and the key before it? So, but I guess most people I'm learning are more macro observers in a way that they kind of take everything as a whole, look at the whole composition and see if it looks okay or not, then determine if that looks good. So it kind of gets in my pet peeve of when people say like the animation is bad when the actual motions are okay, but they're referring to the art style. So like you know, G1 Simpsons, not that they have another generation, but per season, and it's almost like the Simpsons had a different art style for how they actually draw the characters based on each progressive season. Then they started to get more tighter and use model sheets like exclusively to actually pretty much almost trace from those, and then draw from there and try to animate those. So does the animation get worse? It becomes that kind of separation of two evils of whether the art style is getting too refined versus the motions itself are also becoming more too quick motions. Like everything is like, every motion seems to be like only like 3 or 4 frames of something happening. Like a head turn would be bop 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 bop, and then that'll be it. Whereas an older episode might have a whoosh of like 12 frames, but each of those are very slightly different and have in-betweens to all those. Whereas the newer ones, like the HD ones, would just have like basically just the keys almost, it seems like, on most of them. And I was trying to watch a newer one like months ago, and I was like so like disappointed in how they animated The Simpsons. So that's I got off on that. So yeah, I know I kind of talked about it a couple times earlier too. In older streams, we gotten so far. That's I'm not sure where the future really is right now. It's gotta turn back to Kappa to see like whether or not how lenient they're going to be. Trying to figure out what I'm doing. How lenient they'll be with, you know, a kid-ish content versus kids content. Whether or not they're more likely to, you know, go after and seek after a cartoon like this, even though it would follow under all the rules for being an animation. If it has cartoon-ish characters, then that would mean that it would be based on just those very slim definition. It's basically trying to define art, but you're trying to say like some art is different from others, but you're using terms that any art pieces would broadly have. So it's like if art has colors, then we have to segregate it into different parts. And it's like, that doesn't make any sense. It's like a sport in a competition where we try to define it, but we like some competitions more than others. So we're going to define it with, if a competition has these kind of rules where win conditions are when you score points or not, then that's how we're going to determine whether or not your sport is okay or not. And it's like, that doesn't make any sense at all. So it's like, that's why we're all trying to wrap our heads around it, trying to make any tails and heads of that, because it just doesn't, the way that it's written is still too broad. So hopefully with that update that YouTube is seemed to be enough, hearing enough about it to actually make that Twitter post I talked about a couple weeks ago. So I'm glad about that they're being transparent about that, but they're still did in a weird public Twitter post that I think the FTC probably won't see it. So yeah, they also said like they make a comment to it, so that makes better sense. Okay, I'm gonna have her. I didn't explain what I'm doing. I'm gonna have her pick up a box, take a box out of her bag, but we don't really see the bag, and then throw it, like lob it at the mailbox, and then the mailbox is gonna fall over. So I'm gonna have to time it back here, and then I'm gonna get her into the position where we get ready to get the box out from behind her. That's why I'm like each keyframe here is very meticulously planned, in a way that I need to move this one back to where it was. There we go. I didn't key it actually. There we go. Now I can put that back and rotate it. Okay. How are you guys doing? Because I see like there's not much chat action. I expected this, but it's like otherwise it's me even more realizing that I'm just droning on about random stuff. That's why subconscious goes. So if you're here and able to chat, please let me know. Give me a little wave or something. Otherwise, we'll just have to figure out, you know, this will be just listening to whatever it's on my mind or try to figure out what to really talk about. So, or I can either get really technical on this and not really be too fun with that, or we can have fun with whatever you guys' comments might be. Gotta make these keyframes. Forgot about that. There we go. So that should be. Whoop. I'm just going down on that to where we need to do that. Hello. So I'm guessing there's not as much activity, probably because the holidays, which I always find is ironic that people are less likely to be available during a holiday. I never really get that. It seems like the holiday would be the time when you would be more available, like on a regular weekday, which usually is when I'm live seems to be more at a time where a regular 9 to 5 American person will be working. At least maybe more on the smarter coast, maybe. So it's like I guess I'm just don't quite understand that. How people are more busy during holidays than just regular business days. I'm gonna make this pose more extreme. Looks like this needs to be above. There we go. Otherwise I can talk about what I'm doing. Let's make the pose more extreme so I can get it more whooshed back. Hey there. Restart and update your PC. Wow, that's cool. Yep. Oh, hi guys. Took a bit. Not that I'm complaining, it's just that I get really awkward. Whoosh. Okay. Now she's giving it up. Okay. Do I have the letter now? Or the box? Need the box to be just appear out of backspace. Okay. So how you guys doing? So I haven't really explained what I've been doing or how I've been, but I think it'd be interesting. Get you guys more in there. I want package box. There we go. So now just holding the box. Let's kind of scale this down. Working on the Christmas video, so that's been fun. Got like I made like a background which was like an interior house design, so I designed it where I kind of make a layout where all the colors are very temporary, so I just made it like the grossest neon colors I could, just because I knew that I would eventually go through like every color and change it back to like, or not change it back, just to make a new palette, just because I wasn't sure about like what kind of palette I would use. So I just used a temporary like really gross palette. Let's get this into the torso. So now I don't have to key it immediately. See how that works? Good. Yeah. And I was just also saying a little bit earlier that it's interesting how like more people are less able to visit during holiday season or like very intense, you know, seasonal time. Okay, you just corrected yourself. What kind of video would this be? This is part 4 or 5 of this stream. So I've been working on this for roughly a month now. The whole thing is just gonna be a very short loop. So this is the whole 8 seconds of the video. And it's almost done. I try to make these little loops that will play back on itself, and then I'll put it on my DeviantArt and other places, or I'll put it on DeviantArt and then maybe like share it on Twitter to a link to the DeviantArt. So stuff like that. I think all my socials are in the description. So for anyone else who hasn't dived down there, it's not really a plug if it's my own stuff, right? Or is that the point? I don't know. I'm doing these just for fun. These aren't really meant to be anything more so than what it is right now. So these were this video was suggested by one of the people who usually comes in chat, but he's not here right now. So I'm thanking for that. Maybe Express. Yeah. But she's gonna be like you saw, like, she's not really the best at it. Now she's like destroying people and property, but she's like real cool with Scootaloo. And then had the time this box. So we see that she has a box, and then right about here she'll throw it, and then the mailbox will fall over. And then it'll have to be replicated here until it goes off screen like that. Okay. I have to figure the rest of this stuff out. Okay. So box, and then whenever I'm ready, I can throw the box at the mailbox. Throw the package at the box. Boop, boop, boop. Usually it's a perfect 3 thing where I want to have 3 keys. So it'll be like whoop, 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 whoop. See how there's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then pause, and then let's pause a little bit more. Right about there. And now we're gonna do the throw. So she's gonna connect both of these. See if this works. Ugh. Sometimes a parenting system, the Flash parenting system doesn't always like to work. Especially if I wanted to actually move that, I need to make keys. Ah, you see me moving? Say key. Okay. So bop bop. Because everybody has a key. Bop bop. I'm just gonna do a slight anticipation. So she's gonna be more so to throw it than she was. I think she's gonna do like a kind of like a football almost pass, but like an overhead hand kind of thing. Try to think about it. Gotta think about it. Okay. So I'll have her like totally get out of proportion here where she was. And then we'll have to have the package pretty much be up there. So we need to... Oh, okay. That's fine. 0 with the back. This one needs to be backward. That's to show that she threw it. We'll get the... I usually do the facial parts after I do the body. I feel like it's more important to get like the full motion. Get something primary done first before getting into the facial expressions. So that'll be where the box will be. So now I know about where to put the box. So boop. Box needs to have an arc maybe. So bop. Elongate it. Let's get the box. I can use onion skin. Ellie. Oop. And then right about. So this needs to be up. So I can see like where the. So this is blue is before and then green is after. So I can kind of see about where the arc is. So I can see like where the even part will be. And then about here. Where the end point of that is. I think we're just gonna get rid of it for now, and then I'll animate the house later. So as long as Derpy's animation is good, boop, boop. She needs more follow through, and then back to neutral position, and then she'll be done. So we're good, almost good on time. Great, we're getting there. So I can have time to do other stuff. I'm sure there's not much more if I really think about it, but I think just having time to do believe something will be good. So right about here, we need to unparent each of these keys. So now it doesn't follow my torso. Like that. So first we'll go down. We're doing the follow through of the throw. So she's got to go, it goes up and then down and then 3 down. Her arm goes down and then let's tilt this down. So boop, boop, boop. There we go. Pretty happy with that. Okay. So poof, poof. Could use one more just to solidify it more. It's having more weight. Whoosh. You kind of wobble it back. Okay. Whoosh. Whoosh. Okay. There's some clipping there, but I think it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be at this scale, so I don't think you'll be able to see roughly 1 pixel off. But if this was obviously like a close-up, then I would be able to see like this is a problem to me. It should look like this. So that's what I'm saying. Like I'm the only one who would actually notice that. So yeah. I need to get her boop, 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 boop. Right about there. So I need to set every key back to origin point, I guess. So how many keys did I change? Basically, it would be that. Let's see how to do this. I would like to have every key here, but I don't need to have every key. But it might work. Let's see. If I just drag this over here and then drag the keys I might need. This is where it gets sort of complicated. Not that it was earlier. Yeah. It's a curse doing this live. That's like I'm knowing that I'm making all these mistakes and just kind of leaving them. But it's that just that quick. That's not right. Now I just gotta think about everything that I just did. So we just kind of wait. It's loading. If I click it, it's gonna not do it. It didn't even do it. I expected it to make a duplicate of all the keys, like that. There we go. So basically that. Okay. So now I can go through and say like which part doesn't change. Ear doesn't move, hat doesn't move, that doesn't move, hat, that doesn't move, that doesn't move, don't need that, it's a mask, or I could use that, that could be useful, no, 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 no. These are the parts that aren't parents, or some children will need to be keyed, but not others. Basically that I cleared all these keyframes for the parts, but because it gets really complicated. The parts that I don't need to move, that I need to move and then don't, are dependent on whether they have, if they have a parent, then the child doesn't need it. If the parent says the position in the right position for the parents. The parent, this is really complicated. The parent sets the position for the children, so the children don't actually need keys because the parent is setting the position. So that's what I'm going through, because I need to set this back to the original position so I can loop. So I'm seeing like which of these sort of need keys and others that our children don't need it. And you can see like it's already not changing anything based on boop boop, because all the information of the transformation is being stored in the parent. So this is the parent one, as well as the torso. So I'll keep those, but the tail hasn't moved and won't need it. Let me know when it's making any sense. Because I can keep kind of describing it, but I don't think it's wordy enough to actually go through it. Basically, we use all those keys from every layer, but I just took the ones that would need different positions and already have the position information inside of the parent. So oh man. Yeah, it gets, that's what technical babble is, that you either understand it or you just don't, and it's okay. For laymen's to like not understand what I'm trying to say at all. Bop. Okay, so now we only have a couple keys to worry about, which will be those. So again, I'll just need to make keys. Actually, the skull doesn't need one, or does it? No, because skull is the children of the whole master. Even though the skull is a parent to the face children, the headmaster is the parent, is like the grandfather of this skull. So even though the skull is the parent to all the face children, it's okay because the grandparent is handling all that work for it. I know I'm trying to explain this a couple times, but I don't think I've explained it this thoroughly. It's just that it doesn't make as much sense as you expect. Oh dear. And then, whoop, that almost works. It's not what I had in mind, so this will need to be X. So just realigning it so we can have a little bop. So whoop, almost bop. This might be too much. To get that dot, and then that. That's too much too. I think by having it, I'll take that down. Trying to get it like a nice little whoop back into position. So there's a lot of fiddling around, even with all this. There's still a nice curve and arc into it. That's good. It's close enough. That'll don't have to worry about that. Boop. So now, whoop, we got that all going. So now she should have the same look, I don't know what you're gonna call it, as, so that's the first and last frame look the same, so when it loops, it should loop. Whoop, and then box. Yeah, okay. Okay, so Derpy's animation is ish complete. There's still like small things. Let's see. Looks great. Thank you. I don't know why I do this, but I think it just adds character to when they blink, that their eye kind of boops up like that. She's gotta like look over to where Scootaloo would be. Obviously right now I'm just guessing. To where Scootaloo would be. Whoosh. Whoosh. And then right about there we can have it back, yeah, to here. Almost. There we go. So boop, boop, boop. So if I just have a more in between here, and then there's a blink. So that might have been useful to use that blink as a to hide this transition, but that's okay. Industrials and particle effects. Particle effects are usually, in my style, would be like frame by frame kind of a thing. I could make a small loop of it. I don't know if Scootaloo would have much of industrial. I think it might be added some very, very, very small in-betweens, or no, smears for her wings. Did I? Thought I did. Maybe I didn't. That's why inside of here there should be a little, maybe I never got this to look right. And then, but I know what you mean, that this is different. Actually would be here and then off, and then I can have a little shorter one and then an even shorter one, and then angles out. So that's the smear you can barely see. Other things to do. Obviously we're not done with the rest of it, but I can quickly just add a hair bobble. So now we'll continuously do that. This bit can also do that. Nope. Just a little sway there. Add more. Oh, keep doing the wrong button. Add more physics is always good. So now they all kind of wobble around like that. So usually I would have like her whole body be like keyed to have up and down motions. But I think that's just going to be a little bit out of range for what we're doing. For such a, what I thought would be such a short thing. I can add more smears with here. So another layer. So it's here. It's there. I'm seeing where it was, and then adding a smear. That's output. Whoosh. So that's a little bit more. Whoosh. More cartoony, but like not animation cartoony, but like newspaper cartoony. Which I found like history of like cartoons interesting. Like they would use take reference essentially from newspaper comics to make cartoons. Like they weren't really that's like the only like comedy kind of funny flat picture thing that a lot of animators in the 20s we used to. So they would just use that knowledge to make cartoons. But now we consider that those are cartoons, even though they're all seem to be in some way related now to this newspaper comic style. So I could be totally wrong with that, but I think that's about right. At least just looking at the early like Disney and Fleischer and all of those that they're very based on newspaper comic type style. Let's break this. Let's duplicate it. Break. If all goes well, this will be broken. Don't need that. But particle effects would be interesting. They honestly are just too time consuming to do it right. Because with the tweening and like stop motion-y static type motions that I'm doing, you can see like those don't really take too long. So that's why I'm saying like that anything else would just take much longer. I'm gonna put this on a new layer, and then now these should be separated like that. So all I have to do is just take all of this and then do that, and then just kind of do this to it. It's being flown back and rotated down. So it'll be flat. Do a little squash and stretch maybe. But also trying to be aware of where the marker is and everything else. So pop. Doesn't have any weight yet. Until I add more squash and stretch. This will be up and down. So now it's pop. This could have some here. So we'll do it the opposite way. So pop. Okay. Doesn't go all the way through. There we go. Let's see if that is close. Ah! Alright. Okay. We're getting there. Almost there. Bop, 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 bop. Hey, alright. So I need to go inside Derpy. Puppet. Her stuff. Okay. As well as probably just need to keep this box here, and then if it's not animated, probably that I need to go inside and out to figure out where this goes now. This needs to rotate to 100% that this is the ground. Trying to rotate it so it's bop. Bop, bop. Bop, bop, bop. Bop, 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 bop. So somewhere around here it can rotate more on this angle. So instead of being here, we'll have it be that. And then like that. And then cut this out. And then go inside the mailbox, or at least into here, and then adding it back in. Let's make that slightly smaller. But if I go back at least a little bit to where it will be here. So I need to see where that is. And then match the position and scale of it all. And then it should be a duplicate, and then it'll stay, basically. Bop. So that's close. I think just the angle of the actual animation of it. Yeah, there's too many frames of it being here. This needs to go up a little more. Pop. That works. Okay. Okay. Other problem I think we noticed is that the Wacom mat is on top. So we layer it on the bottom. Okay. And obviously if we go back to frame 1, it's back up. So pop, scoot, letter, box. And now it's back to normal. So to rectify that, we'll have to, what do we do? Where is everything? I don't know. Everything is inside of here. So if I set this to be 200 at the start, this one start at 200, single frame, nothing else happens. So essentially, pop, mailbox is good. I don't know how. And then that falls. And then pop. All right. I'm very surprised that that even happened. I thought the second house might glitch out or something, so there we go. I think people in trouble for property damage or make exception. That was a couple plots for some of my older videos. If you remember back in 2014-15, one of those, I had Derpy goes to jail or she got like arrested for something bad, not really bad, but like something happened. And then I had this whole like mini series of like her getting arrested and then being in jail and then trying to escape from jail. So that was a whole thing. I got a couple complaints about that, or kid in a con type of situation where people were like, why did Derpy go to jail? I don't like you, or like attacking me for doing this horrible you know, like, how could you do this, you know? So then I realized that maybe that's a bad thing to you know, not to get her in trouble as often. or like just having to tons of money is like, I think by now that they're more used to it, so I don't think it's much of an exception more than they just accept it rather than. So I want to add a couple more things. I know this is looking pretty good, but I can add, what I usually do is have these underneath box, another layer, star. Let's make a star. Let's see how fast. Let's do a race between making a circle and in a star. Circle. Pop. Okay. That's how fast was that? How many milliseconds was that? Let's make a star. Go. Almost there. Star. There's no keyboard shortcut for star. There's literally a button for O. The O key is a circle, and R is to make a square or a rectangle. But there's no keyboard shortcut for star. So that was my keyboard make a star speedrun. Problem is that I make stars a lot of the time though, and so it's like really annoying. Oof. I know I kind of like fidget out. Like I could have done a little bit faster. I could have saved like 2 frames. Where I wanted to like make a color style, and I was like, oh, should I make a style? You know, should I add a stroke to it? And I was like, no. So I feel like I could have done that a little quicker. I can go back. Okay, let's do a real speedrun. Circle. Go. Done. Okay. Star. Star. Yeah, so it's like 3 or 4 times longer. Just because there's no way to make a shortcut. It's not even a thing to make a shortcut. So all of their like Flash animation, you know, updates. There was an update today to add like camera raw. Have an update for that. Meanwhile, they forgot to add a keyboard shortcut for making a poly star. Okay. That's nearly good now. If we wanted to make that little trail, we could do that. That might be the last thing. I want to make Colgate. Or whatever you want to call her. Have a little bit of that. 4.8 seconds. Yeah, that's making a circle is boop. That's that. But making a star is nearly 5 times as slower. Let's think about that. That it's that much slower to make a different kind of shape is insane. So we can get a sub 3. Oh man, you guys are great. I love speedrun memes like that. I watch all the AGDQ, SGDQ. But AGDQ will be coming next month, so I'm excited for that. Let's see. Looks like her blink stopped, so I like to figure out why. Maybe because it doesn't exist. That could be a reason, but I think I like to know. Okay, it's actually deleted. Cool. Bop, bop, bop. Around here. Let's add back in those lashes so that you can blink again. Here we go. Back to 15 loop. 15 loop. But then it has to disappear because I can't have both of these. So that's the fun of it. Boop, boop, boop. Boop. Just adding a little bit more to it. So I noticed that she was kind of still to static when she pretty much like finished her animation. So I'm gonna add a little bit more to it. It's okay because when she blinks, you don't really notice it as much. Boop. Boop. So this is where we figure this out. Okay, and then there it is. It's pretty normal, but it's like not used to having to be pretty much on the clock with this. Boop. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. Why aren't you perfect? Bop, bop. It's because it goes that way. Too far. Ah, bop. Back. Okay, now you see it. Like her head goes up. Let's have everything squish by a hair. There we go. I think it's fine because you'll see it really up there. And then static. Okay. Pretty good on time, so if we wanted to, the dust cloud might, also because I'm not exactly sure how to really represent that. I've done some smoke-ish type effects in the Christmas video, and I did that today. Like, I feel like this will be something a little bit different, so I'm a little bit hesitant. I think it's going to be such a small thing for a lot of work. I'm not sure. So, excuse me as I, you know, not able to fulfill every promise here. The only weird anomaly is that you can see the box here while she draws another box, and then it lands in the same kind of position, but you know, that's okay. I guess we have a little bit more time to pull her pupil out of her skull, and then let's see if there's anything else. People have a HUD, maybe like just like a simple score thing. I'm not this Paperboy expert. But I think it was either very simple or it's not. Or it's very well designed that I don't even notice it. I'm looking at anything else. I think it was around today's that started to mess up, so here we go. Here we go. Just gonna slide these just to make sure that they stay within their boundaries and don't clip. Here's the clip. There. There's a clip there. And fixing the clips. Okay. It had a health bar and little paper icon. Oh, okay. Maybe that's something like that. The problem again might be that it has to loop, so if there's like you deliver a letter and then it'll go away, then how does it have to loop back and then it comes back? So it has to be like probably like static clip. This wasn't exactly meant to be a video game-esque reference in the first place either, so I don't know if it'll be. That shouldn't move. That's gonna be too important. The only thing that's Paperboy about this in any respect is that it's at sort of like isometric angle, which itself isn't revolutionary. So I appreciate all your wonderful ideas, but I don't think that's going to be right for this project. And I'll have executive order on all this. So sorry about that. I just wanted to make sure that I got everything in the storyboard done. And I think to the best of my ability, which I think is pretty good. I didn't see it loop, so that's good. Right there. You don't even see it. Okay, cool. Okay. So otherwise, what can we do? Moves very smoothly, yeah. Thank you. I could just add like a little, some kind of HUD. Where would it be? What's it good? What corner is the HUD? Okay, I want to do it in the bottom left. Let's get letter. This is why we use symbols. So I can do this. So I kind of have some kind of a thing like this, and then say like, whoa, you got 3 letters or 4? Who knows? It's infinite. Let's see. We can space this out. It's top left. Bottom left doesn't have much going on, so yeah. Thank you for that. Are you looking at like some kind of reference or something? For Big Boy? So I probably should be looking at that. This is our letter collection. And it's static, so it shouldn't be much of a hassle. There we go. Google Images. Great. What's that? Because I can make it. Fun thing is that I could make it like half opacity or something. Like, ooh. Like it's faded in. So it'll, if anything goes in front of it, it'll. I like anything. It's pretty good. Maybe like one of them can flash. I think, wasn't it where you would throw it and then it would like, if you got a bat or a miss, it would turn black or something? Or is that like Duck Hunt where it would do something? I don't want to put like letters or English letters. I want to make this. My appeal is that I'm worldwide, and I'm Mr. Worldwide who can do horses where they don't have a language. Play it for you guys. So it says this big aspect ratio, so I gotta skim it down. Okay. They decrease especially when she throws them. They recharge. Kinda before it loops again. Or maybe choose point right when it looks. Yeah, maybe we should. Yeah, when she hits a mailbox, maybe it'll just like flash and go burp burp, you know, kind of thing. I could do that. Let's have this one be on its own layer, and then when I need to hit the mailbox, it can just do that. Negative 1,000 text or something. I think when this happens, probably on the same frame, we can have it like turn red. We can tint it red. 100, close to there. 60. So bop 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 bop, and then tint it back. So bop bop. And tint it back. So it'll be like burp burp. Let's make that more even. So bop bop. Is that too quick? could be slower. Maybe it could be. Let's take each of these and just move it one over. So be boop boop. That works great. Here goes bop bop. Like, oh no, you did a bad. That works. Maybe it can turn green when she does it right. Like, this is bad, right? She's hitting a person. Yeah, okay. So it'll turn bad when she does it bad. So right about there. 52. So 52 will be bop bop there. And then right there. Let's get this and then put it back on the right place. It's one after that one. So, bop, bop. Okay. And then we just tint this to a green. Good green. Good green. Some kind of seeable green on green. That's pretty good. Normal, and then tint it back to that. I guess I can copy this frame. Boop boop. So boop boop. Good. Boop boop. That works. Yeah. There we go. So I got a little HUD that'll flash when it's good, and then when it's bad, and then when it's good, bad, that's bad, that's good, and then that's bad, and that's bad. Great. This is great. Wow. Thanks, Cricket, for taking up all of that chat and writing this little fun little action element. And that was easy to implement more than the not to say that this wasn't more challenging, but it's like definitely easier to implement than something that would take a little bit more development into. Yeah. I was gonna say, if we're happy with it, I'm so used to like having commissions where always ended with, you know, you text back and forth between like a commission, and it's like, well, if you're happy with it, then I'm happy. You know, if this suits you, you know, I'm happy too. But otherwise, I think it should be pretty happy. I'm happy. I like how we added the little video game at the end. That definitely pluses this a little bit more. Could have all of them flash, but I don't think that'd be too much. Like that works. Okay. I think it's more apparent that each individual thing. If this was like a full thing, then it could, you know, have it be each letter would like disappear after you, as you draws it. The letter there, I'm pointing to it, would disappear. Floating score text after each letter. What do you mean? Oh, score text. I don't really know the numerical values to add to these things. I kind of like having it be very visual, so you don't really have to also look at the bottom going, oh, that number, let me read what that is. Because I think our minds are like, as soon as there's like letters, we'll like immediately go into that, even though there's a pretty picture, you'd be like, oh, look, words. So to have that happen, I would prefer not to. I think this is fine. I can check anything afterward, I think. But I think this is pretty close. And then at the beginning I said, like, I'll have this be... Problem is that... No, it's okay. I can still use swaps. The fun thing is that I can still use swaps until January 1st, 2021. I think a lot of people are getting almost stylistic, I can't even say it, where they read December and then 2020 and they're like, oh, is that next month? It's like, no. The swap debacle will be for literally in 2 years? Or how's that work? 1 year? 1 year away. So, a couple weeks and a year, then swaps will start to fizzle out. So, all those people who are like, oh, Newgrounds is going away soon, and it's like, yeah, but you still have 300 more days based on what I'm saying. I know my dad is gonna save some kind of web browser to have Flash and Flash Player be by like default, so or like at least have it be available. Because there's games that he like back end develops but not directly develops for. Those games were like Flash based. So basically the program that I'm using to do this, you can also actually create video games with. So that's why it was really cool, you know, back in the day to have Newgrounds where you can have literally a cartoon and or a video game just by using this one program. That's why I got really popular because a lot of people, you know, would have Adobe and like use these, so it's like, oh, that's pretty cool. It's like, what else can we do with it? And then Adobe was like, yay, you can make a website. And then Apple was like, we don't want to use Flash and swaps. You know, this swap is you know, you can add a virus into it. We don't want none of that. We want our iPhones to be super secure, so we don't want to have none of that. So that slowly started to actually make that decline of using swaps, especially on websites where they seem to be deemed as dangerous. Obviously because they are in some capacity, but not to be a full capacity. That they're not meant to be malicious. It's just a couple bad apples, and I don't know. I never really researched that far into it, but it's just been... This could have been a Toaster Talk, but I wanted to show my video as well. So, I'm gonna go to Toaster Talk here. Let me take a little swig here. Okay. And thank you. There'll be some sort of Chrome add-on or something to replace Flash. Yeah, but that's the problem, is that they're gonna replace Flash. So Flash will then, you know, fizzle out and disappear. So that's why Flash seemed to be more adamant than not to rename their whole program to Animate. So the program that I'm working on now, the whole program is Animate. Even though you still technically could make a video game, because it still has ActionScript. The ActionScript is the scripting software that allows you to create interactivity. So there's actually like real code into this, but I never get into it. So I tried to make a video game once, like a couple months ago, but I never really got farther than, oh, you press W and then you can translate your movie clip to go in the positive Y direction. And I was like, that's too much for me. Like, I'm good then. That's kind of why I just stay with the simple like cartoons, which doesn't have any interactivity. But some of the DeviantArt ones, like my older ones, if you look on those, my profile has some hidden away interactivity ones where if you click certain buttons, basically it'll just like start the cartoon, or it'll just do like instead of having it just autoplay, it can have user input to start. You know, go if click on button, go to frame 2 and continue until something happens. So that's kind of how sometimes I use it. That's why today I'm trying to figure out right now whether or not I want to publish this particular loop as a SWF SWF or a GIF. Because in my experience, I feel like GIFs are just not able to compare to the raw power and like visual quality as SWFs. So, because if I go back, this will be real quick, is that I can go into here, I can export this as a SWF. This is what a SWF is that it's this little box. This is the scary Flash player that everyone's freaking out about, is that it can play cartoons. Whoa. But basically, it has infinite quality, so I can zoom in basically as far as I want. You can't do this on a GIF. Look how close I can get to all this. And it's like there's no loss in quality, is that it's still pixel perfect quality to a SWF. So with a GIF, it has resolution dependent to it. So that's why I never really like Photoshop and like those other kind of programs. Like I never try to use Krita, and I think even OpenTunes has raster. I never really like raster, just because like I like scaling things, or like making something, drawing something in a small doodle, and then it's like, well, now I'm gonna need that in the next shot, but like bigger. It's like I don't want to redraw it. What do? There's no way with raster to just manually, you know, make it bigger without losing some quality. But with a vector, which uses math to figure out points and angles between different points, it means that I can zoom in as much as I want. So I feel like if we lose SWFs, then we're gonna lose some cartoon quality in some way, but just for people who actually natively upload SWFs, which seem to be the only place DeviantArt seems to be the only place that I seem to frequently do that. So but otherwise, you know, obviously the other option is just make it an MP4 or AVI or whatever the new WebMD, whatever those are, files. Those obviously work, but I think the size of it will be bigger, and you might get some resolution compression through rendering, taken from the raw data Flash into a video render will make it in some way lose quality. Actually, yes, it will, because whatever video resolution you have will be the only resolution it can now exist in. So if we get rid of SWFs, then we're gonna lose a lot of scalability to a lot of our stuff, unless we future-proof it in a way where we have the video files be at a higher quality. It's like when, you know, in 2005 with, you know, the first start of YouTube, it's like everyone was making 240p and, you know, 360p, you know, 20, 30 FPS. Like, they never thought, like, oh, in the future we'll have 4 8K 60 120 frames a second videos. Like, how are we gonna know like what kind of resolution to like output your video as? So it's like right now it's like it's kind of hard to really know like what kind of box to check for. So that's why I'm always like a little hesitant. Like, I don't want to make it a GIF because I know that some way the resolution and quality, video quality, will diminish. So it's like a little annoying with that I can't, you know, in like 2 years' time, upload something that'll be the highest quality that it maximum can be. Because that's what all this art is, that it has the capability to be much higher resolution than we can actually perceive. Because it's actually mathematical points in space. So there is no resolution. Is that it's actually infinite. So to put it in a little tiny box is like, So even like when I, you know, like each couple years I'd always like make my videos like a little bit higher resolution. Like I started out with like, actually my first one was like 144 just to test it. But then I was doing 720. Did that for a little while, and then I think I started to do some 1080s. But now my regular videos for the past couple years have been 2K. I'm doing quotes, can't see it. 2K, which is 2540 by 1440. I'm sure that number made sense. 2560 over 1440. So I thought I would, you know, that was a couple years ago, so I thought I was future-proofing it, but I think it's a nice, weird, almost middle ground now to do in 2K. I know that all it is vector and there's no like texture to it. Like I think even BoJack Horseman is using Flash, but they have like high bitmap textures to it. It looks like, because like all the fur and like those kind of textures, like those don't really seem to be made natively in Flash. They may have been made in Photoshop. I never really looked into it. If you can hear that, that's my fire alarm. I think it's a good time to quit. I think my dad's trying to cook. He's a good cook. He's great. That'll be a good wake up for any of you guys who are still here. How you guys doing? If I got to evacuate, he will let me know. Regardless, so. I'm downstairs in the basement, so he's upstairs in the kitchen, so you can hear him stomping around and trying to figure it out. That's going on every time we want to. Maybe I should look into that. Okay. Good timing though. Okay. Yeah, so he cooks pizza, but I think the new oven, like just how we just cook, we got a new oven with the new kitchen. I guess there's like some small bits that we don't really clean out the oven as clean as it could be. So there might just be like small bits of food particles that are, as they get heated up, they're like leftover bits, so they'll be burning up, and that's what causes the smoke, and that causes that. And the fire alarm is very, very powerful, working sensitive. It's very sensitive to all of this. So now he's opening the back door to the back porch deck. I don't know what it is. What do you call it? A raised thing that protrudes out of the top level thing. He opened that door. So hopefully the wind will carry it outside. Yeah, that's been going on a lot of times. I think we just need to, before we put stuff into the oven, maybe we should clean it out a little bit more. But even then, it still can like have little bits from the pizza that we put in, can still catch some kind of, where it can fall into like some area where it can like catch on some sort of fire, I suppose, or at least catch smoke in a way. So I'll finish this stream. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. I'll stop the stream. I'll see what's going on, and then I'll post the video we made. Which, thanks for coming along with this. This is a weird journey. Post it on David on Twitter and all those places. So, take care. I'm gonna figure out what's going on. It's 99% of the time is okay. So everything should be okay. Thanks guys for sort of being okay with all this. You guys are much calmer than I expected. So anyway, I'll go do what I just did, so I don't need to say it again. So hopefully the pizza will be good, and then I'll post it in. Everything should be okay. Oh boy. Next time we'll have to figure out a new thing to do. That's gonna be obviously Hanukkah and Christmas week, so there'll probably be even less people than this. So I'll probably just do like a chill, maybe just some kind of drawing thing. So instead of like doing a big project like this where we have to start up a new big project, we'll just do like some kind of doodle or something, some kind of chill thing, instead of big whatever these kind of productions are. So okay, see you guys. Thank you so much. You're the best. See ya.